Billion-dollar question: the real reason the dodo went extinct. Have you ever come across dodos? These lovely birds are well known for their incapacity to fly and are dim-witted. Dodos were land-dwelling birds with large beaks and little wings. Despite residing on a tiny island in the Indian Ocean for many years, they mysteriously vanished within fewer than 100 years after their discovery. Ever wondered why the dodo became extinct so swiftly? Well, let's uncover the contributing factors behind the downfall of the dodo. Dodos, or Rhaphis cucullatus, was indigenous to Mauritius, an Indian Ocean island 500 miles east of Madagascar. Mauritius is a small island with diverse environments, including forests, marshes, lagoons, mangroves, and rivers. Although it is unknown for definite, it is mostly thought that dodos lived in woods and ate various nuts, fruits, seeds, and roots. They may have been able to split open coconuts with their vast, strong beak. In the early 1500s, Portuguese sailors found these beautiful birds. However, they were not initially reported until 1598. Dutch explorers discovered them. Volkart Everts, a Dutch sailor stranded on the island, was the last to see a dodo in 1662. Although it took a few more years for the dodos to go extinct, they were estimated to be extinct by the 1690s. It's widely assumed that the dodo became extinct because Dutch sailors ate it to extinction, after discovering that the bird was effortless to trap, owing to its lack of fear of humans. Why it didn't fear the monster many times its size is a question for another day. This is, for the most part, accurate. The dodo's population rapidly declined after sailors landed and settled on the island in 1598. Other reports corroborate that the dodo was hunted by sailors searching for an easy snack. Because of the dodo's awkward walk and absence of a third axis of movement made it relatively easy to catch. However, in this research published by the Oxford University of Natural History, the creatures brought with the sailors are mentioned as one of the main reasons our sad feathered buddy died. Pigs, dogs, and rats are all claimed to have developed a liking for dodo eggs. The introduction of such creatures into a foreign ecology, along with people hunting and eating them, destroyed the delicate equilibrium that the dodo had enjoyed for so long. The species became critically endangered very quickly. As a result, it vanished from existence. Although the precise date we humans first encountered dodos is unknown, Dutch sailors sailing with Jacob van Neck, one of the first individuals to describe the dodo, are supposed to have been the first humans to view the bird in 1598. However, Portuguese sailors are reported to have observed the bird decades earlier in 1507. This is only one of the many questions regarding the dodo that have yet to be answered. For example, the year the bird became extinct is as hazy as the day it was discovered. The Oxford University claims that the dodo went extinct in 1680, supported by several other sources. However, scientists charting the final confirmed sightings of the bird on a graph implied that the true date is 10 years later. However, as stated in the book Lost Land of the Dodo, The Ecological History of Mauritius, Reunion and Rodrigues, one of the most authoritative works on the bird and its extinction, the last recognized verifiable sighting of the living dodo occurred several years before this in 1662. There is a 30-year period of lovely dodo limbo in which we have no idea what the dodo did, but we hope they had a good time. Another reason that the dodo became extinct was due to habitat degradation. As additional explorers came to Mauritius, they ventured further afield. They chopped down and destroyed the trees where these birds lived to construct pathways through the island. The dodos were being driven into a smaller and smaller region as the island became increasingly populated. This resulted in a scarcity of food. As a result, dodos would have to start competing with each other to survive. Furthermore, dodos could not fly, so they made their nests on the ground. Nests were most likely constructed in undergrowth and surrounded by grass, leaves, and twigs. The nests were very readily destroyed because they were on the ground. As the explorers walked through the island, eggs were stomped, or maybe gathered and eaten. Dodos were also naturally sluggish to procreate, laying just one egg in each brood. This meant that if the egg was destroyed, there would be no more babies until the mother produced a fresh clutch. Surprisingly, despite being one of the most renowned extinct species in history, right up there with the woolly mammoth, no one knows what the dodo looked like. According to the BBC, entire skeletons of the animal are exceedingly uncommon, with one of the last being burned in a fire in 1755. Heck, even the model at the Natural History Museum is composed of numerous specimens, and they're in charge of preserving and storing animal remains. However, the popularly held picture of the dodo, that of an overweight dumpling of a bird, is most likely incorrect. Reconstructions of freshly discovered bones indicate that the dodo was far sleeker and nimble than painters of the past gave it credit for. Oddly, the cliched image of an overweight dodo dates back to when they were first discovered, though images of thinner dodos are known to exist, including one sketched by Jacob von Eck, who was one of the first to sketch them. However, these are vastly outnumbered by images of dodos that look like they lived on a diet of nothing but sticks of butter mixed with bacon grease. Seasonal fat variations have been proposed as a possible explanation for this discrepancy. However, as with everything related to the dodo, no one is certain. An 1848 British study, The Dodo and Its Kindred, financed by Prince Albert, accurately concluded that the bird was a sort of pigeon, and, if clumsily, recorded the reason for its extinction. We cannot see without regret the extinction of the last individual of any race of organic beings, whose progenitors colonized the pre-Adamite Earth, it said. However, we can find solace in the fact that man is predestined by his Creator to be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it. Without living dodos, woolly mammoths, or Tasmanian tigers, scientists must combine genome pieces with genomes of the species' closest ancestors. Dinosaurs are excluded because not enough of their DNA survives. Colossal intends to utilize the genome of the dodo's closest living relative, the Nicobar pigeon, and DNA Shapiro, collected from the dodo's bones through the years, including a recent wonderful specimen unearthed in a museum in Copenhagen. This year, she aims to publish her discoveries on the dodo genome. Once the genomes have been sequenced, creating a proxy requires mastering editing and cloning tools, reprogramming procedures to create healthy gametes and facilitate safe in vitro fertilization, and assistive reproduction technology. Lamb claims that Colossal's researchers have achieved significant advances in sequencing and CRISPR, including techniques like multiplex editing, which enables several alterations to be performed simultaneously. A 40-person crew oversees the mammoth, or more precisely, a cold-tolerant woolly elephant. Over 20 changes in high-impact genes related to cold adaptation mammoth characteristics have already been created. Stem cells for both species have been obtained, and techniques for somatic cell nuclear transfer in elephants has been refined. To begin with, utilizing CRISPR to modify DNA of a closely similar species to replace an extinct one is tricky. Thomas Gilbert, a paleogeneticist at the University of Copenhagen in Denmark, investigated the prospect of reviving the Christmas Island rat. Despite having well-preserved DNA samples and a wealth of genomic data from the animal's cousin, the Norway rat, Gilbert's team could not sequence the remaining 5% of the Maclear rat's genome, leaving missing features such as immunity and scent. With the image of these cute flightless creatures forever etched into our minds, we are left with a sense of wonder and a lingering question. Could the fate of the dodo serve as a cautionary tale for our actions today? Please let us know your thoughts in the comments section. See you in the next one. Peace.